Part 2 of Dishing It But Can't Take It. We are back and we ready to get into this thing. Leslie has stopped with her last point, but we finna pick it right on back up. We serious business with it. Leslie, you remember your train of thought?
Oh, yes, I remember my train of thought. Hey, guys, thank y'all for coming back or for tuning in.
Yes.
And what I was saying on our last segment, or the first part of the Dish It But Can't Take It.
I'm sorry, do we need to introduce ourselves again?
Oh, we might need
Okay,
to.
well, I am Valerie, the Realist Winn.
She's AKA the Black Hummingbird.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
My name is Walter
Mr. Clown. Yes, I'm Leslie Jackson.
All right, and now we getting ready.
Jackson.
Okay, Lester. Now we get ready, and I call him Jack. Sometimes I call him Lester, but most of the time I call him Jack. And Polo is down here, so if y'all see me looking down there, that's what I'm looking at. All right, so on the last one, we ended it after an hour because y'all know I don't like to keep y'all too long because I understand everybody have busy lives and we value your time.
Yes,
and we
do.
appreciate your support.
Yes, thank you guys.
On this podcast. So again, subscribe, like, share with your family and friends. We will appreciate it. Or share with somebody who you think it'll help. And please comment and let us know your questions. All right?
Yeah.
But Leslie ended the last one. We're going to let her jump back in it.
Yes, so
We're going to get a little deeper.
it's about to get deep. Put your seatbelts on, guys. We about to get real.
All right.
So, since this episode is talking about Dish It But Can't Take It, we really talked about our reason for accepting the invitation for this podcast that is talking about, married couples' journeys and experiences. And we talk about a lot of things we have, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about some ugly things.
Yeah.
Because that's real. And what our goal is to help some couple out there to recognize that maybe some of the things that you're going through or that you have gone through, it doesn't mean you can't get through it.
Right.
It's your mindset, it's your willingness, your commitment to each other.
Right.
Because as we were saying, love has a multitude of wrongs.
You may be on the brink of not making it, and you just think that the fire is hot for you. And the devil makes you think that you're by yourself. And you're not by yourself. Believe it or not, everybody has less than 360 degrees of separation.
That's right.
And somebody is going through worse than what you're going through.
That's
And
right.
you think you're going through something, and somebody is way worse than you, and they're pushing through, and you quitting too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I spoke about with this podcast, I just want to encourage you, if you are going through something, don't throw that towel in too soon. I was a wedding photographer. And one thing, I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts, is that used to just vex my spirit. You spend all this money on a wedding, but you didn't prepare for the marriage. And you got
backwards.
it's backwards, and you got people getting divorced left and right, and people say
Because the most emphasis was on putting on this beautiful wedding.
right. And people ask me, they say, "Why did you stop doing wedding photography?" Well, that's one of the reasons.
Wow.
Even though I'm making this type of money doing it, one of the reasons was breaking my heart was we seeing all this love and this romance on this day, and then months later, y'all divorcing.
My grandma used to always say, you spend all this money on the wedding.
Yeah.
And you ain't married but 2 hot seconds.
Yeah.
What's the point of the wedding?
What was the point of the
Spend
wedding?
the money on the marriage.
The
Don't
point,
go out to get married.
the point of the wedding is you to profess your love for one another, and that should be everlasting love.
Right.
It should be everlasting. And the thing is, how do you get to that point where it's everlasting love? You
do
got
the
to
work.
do the work.
Yes.
And people don't. They look at all of us and they think it's easy. And I'm here to tell you,
Let's see the result.
they see the result. They see the glory, but they don't know the
They don't see
story.
Don't know the story.
The mud that you walked through.
Don't know the story.
No.
They see the weight that you carry. They don't
No.
see the stuff you got to go through to get to the point where you're at now.
Right.
You're married 20 plus. When I was always told when I would see people who are married when I was a kid, and I see you see people who been married 30, 40, 50 years, talk to them.
Talk to them.
And to their stories. Them people been married that long, they done loved, fell out of love, done this, done that. Man, they would give you horror stories with some of the stuff that like, why would you stay? Because when you married back then, it was real.
Yeah.
You married for real back then. There wasn't no plaything. They meant that. They took their vows seriously. And that's one thing that I gotta say that I learned in therapy, our last therapist, because I'm very, very old school. And I've always been taught that a man has a word.
I love that.
And it was never broken to me like this. But the therapist told me, he said, you gave God your word. And that hit me like a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
I was like, oh shit.
I'm doing you, Walter.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be my backup.
And I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. He said, you gave God your word. Now you won't break your word with other folks.
Yeah.
You're gonna break it with God.
Wow.
You know, and that has to do with having a covenant marriage. You know, because it's you, your spouse, and God.
Right.
And that's really, I always say it goes back to also the original Trinity. The original Trinity was the man, woman, and the child. It wasn't the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It wasn't masculine like that. We was just talking about feminine energy.
Madonna and child, yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, listen, y'all know I love all my Christian friends.
Just go and tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Don't
I love my Christian friends.
go across the water and go see it.
But this ain't what that podcast. This is not what that podcast. This is not what the podcast is about. It's about dishing it, but and can't take it. Yeah, but one thing that we have noticed as women, and I've been with my husband for over 32 years. I learned early on, you know, he can dish it, but he can't take it. And it had a lot to do with the male ego, but it also had to do with childhood trauma. And with Walt, the childhood trauma was at the apex. And not only did Walter have childhood trauma, I had it myself.
He probably didn't even realize
Didn't even recognize
Didn't
it.
even
And
realize
so
it.
the thing is, it was trying to learn how to deal with that and move forward. But it wasn't until Walt realized, hey, I need help too.
Yeah.
We all have it.
You know.
At some level, we all have it because, and you have to define trauma for yourself because there's not. It's like saying, what's the perfect family or what's the right thing. It's not a definition for that. It's what you consider your trauma is for you. Because the way I was raised, I think I had a pretty good childhood. You know?
Yeah.
But if I tell some people the things that I went through, they'll be like, oh my God, you know? Well, and that's in anybody's situation.
Yeah.
It's through the lens of who's looking at it. So what is traumatic? It depends on the way it affects you and how it does for you. You know, so, but when you say the fact of, like I'll be Leslie was talking on the way here, okay? And when it comes to the dishing it but can't take it, okay? So just look in a marriage. Just look in the marriage in a situation.
Here you go, y'all.
Okay.
I'll be very, very transparent and let you guys know I have mistreated my wife horribly in the past. And she stayed and allowed me to mature and grow up because I did a lot of shit that she had plenty of reasons to run from. But I was blessed that she chose to listen to God and stay. Now, mind you, I was always the guy that took care of my house. I took care of her. She didn't have to work if she didn't want to. But I did a lot of shit that I shouldn't have done. But we went to. I didn't want to go to therapy at first. I was like, don't tell people my motherfucking business.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We had to go.
Yeah.
So she drew a line in the sand. So, hey, we had to go do what we had to do. And it was a growing point for us. But I will be honest to you. Like I told her, I said, I don't think men are designed to take the things that women can take. But I think that's by design. Because if you take, and I'm just looking on I'm going very primitive. Very
He
primitive.
say primitive.
Yeah, I'm going to the animal kingdom.
Okay.
I've bred dogs. I don't know who else have, but I've bred dogs. If my dog sires a female dog, he don't want nobody else touching that dog, especially in his yard.
Yeah.
He will kill something in that yard behind that dog. That's how men are with the woman that they want. You better not touch her. That's a problem. Yeah. Now, mind you, he might go do whatever he do. Is it right? I ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying it is what it is. It just is. It's just like I told her. I said, a man can do X, Y, Z, and a woman can do the same thing, but they get two different jackets put on them.
Yeah, no, but that ain't right.
I ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. See,
because some things just are.
That may be how it is in society, but let me just tell you, Renaissance women. We gonna dish it back to y'all.
Renaissance women.
Sometime.
Let me tell you what happened to Renaissance women. Let me tell you what happened to Renaissance women. Because men are the market, and you have to understand what I'm saying. Because I'm going completely logical with you. We are the market. So if you want this man, then he's going to want what he wants. If you are not giving that what he requires, then you will continue to be a Renaissance woman without that man. And that's just a fact.
Yeah, I guess, but I ain't got to worry about that because I'm giving you everything you need and then some.
But you see you understand what I'm saying?
But let me tell you this though. But let me go back. But let me go back. Let me go back.
I'm quiet right now. I'm ready to answer.
No, let me tell you. Go ahead on the answer. No, because I love you to death, baby. Not tell him some of his mindset. Egotistical like that is chauvinistic.
It's the truth,
because I don't care. That is how society made it. It may be the truth, but it is not right. Hey, let me tell you, it may be the truth by society's definition, but that doesn't make it right. And to me, if you are a man of God, I understand that you're trying to say that this is the way it is in society. And I also recognize that you are saying right, that you know that ain't right?
I said that it's not.
Well,
right.
But
I'm just saying it just is.
No. But that's not okay. That's not okay.
It's not like that.
Because number one, how it should be.
You said how it should be.
We talking about a married couple or a couple that's in a relationship. First of all,
I'm talking about if you're single.
Okay, single or not, but we talking about married. Okay, we talking about us married. No, it's not. It's not. Okay, and let me tell you why. You know why I'm gonna tell y'all why it's not? Okay, because it happened before, right here in this marriage. My sweet. So as I was saying, guys, the reason why we're doing this is so that somebody else out there can recognize that, hey, while y'all see, everything is beautiful and glamorous and we so in love and we are.
Yeah.
And we have been since 15, but we have gone through some things that the devil meant to extremely destroy us.
Y'all went through some things that could have really broke y'all.
No, not really broke us. Broke
y'all. Okay.
Broke us. It wasn't really.
Okay.
It broke us.
Okay.
But at some point we had to. It was love that brought us back together. It was God that listening to God that brought us back together. And I'm going to tell you guys, and because. It's kind of long, but I'm gonna keep it short. And I want to say the PSA, okay, to my husband, and I love him with all my heart. and I honor him. So this is in no way to degrade him or anything, because
Wait, you know what that means, right? Before somebody say no disrespect,
Booker, I'm just gonna tell
no
it.
disrespect, but
No, baby, I'm gonna tell the truth. We've already talked about this.
No.
I am going to tell the truth to the people. We already talked about this, right?
Yeah.
But
You know
I'm
what that
letting
means,
them
though.
know. I need y'all to understand that this man right here, can't no man in the world take his place.
Okay.
No man alive can walk in his shoes.
That's right.
Ever.
That's right.
All the things that I have been through, I'm not even going to sit up here and lie and say I want to go through them again, or I would, because I doggone sure don't. But I'm telling you, whatever was designed for us by God, whatever journey, and okay, we went through it and we here by the grace of God. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm so glad we didn't throw in the towel when we both wanted to. So I'm gonna start by saying this. Me and my husband were first, we both had marriages before, okay? When I moved back to Texas and was getting divorced, or either I couldn't even really be honest to remember if I was divorced or not. But I was seeing somebody, and he was too. My cousin Hardy Jones, thank you, Hardy Jones, hooked us back up. Okay. And you know, once we connected, we were together ever since. And whoever we was going with at the time was deuces.
Yeah.
Because we was back together. Okay. Our opportunity to be back together since high school. And he asked me to marry him in high
They
school.
spun
and
the
I said
block,
no.
people. They spun the
Baby, we
block.
spun the block. He asked me to marry him in high school. Okay. Pregnant with somebody else, baby.
Okay.
And he asked me to marry him, and I said no. And so, anyways, there we are in a relationship. But my husband did have, going into the relationship, I knew that he had a baby that was on the way. Okay. And so it was my decision to accept him with that.
Yeah.
And I felt like he accepted me with my 3 kids. And was willing to raise them. So I said, okay. He was honest with me. He told me about what was going on, because he could have kept it to himself. We gonna go forth. We gonna make it do what it do. Okay. My husband, okay, was going through his own thing, and he wasn't, I would say, mature as the man that he is now. And when we were talking about previously, like when he was saying, like, if a woman is all that she needs to be, I am not tooting my own horn, but he can attest to that. I was the entire table, but he still wanted a napkin.
Okay. Okay.
At times I felt after a while, okay, something wrong with me. It must be something wrong. Okay, let me do this. Let me lose weight. Let me such and such and such. Now, if y'all go back to a couple of sessions, there was an issue with us because I was in early menopause, didn't know, and had no libido. That, number one, is a problem. But did that give him the excuse to go out and do his thing to the 15th power like he was doing?
No.
No, it did not. So let me just give y'all an example. On our wedding day, look how funny this was. I'm so green, like, oh my God. We worked the sheriff department along with Walter. Okay. So I'm standing outside the church with my daddy.
Yeah.
Waiting to walk in and go marry the love of my life. And I look over to the right in the parking lot, and I see a sheriff deputy car with their low beams on. So me, with my naive tail, I'm saying, oh, wow, it's one of our friends from the sheriff department came on their lunch break to the wedding. Little did I know, after the wedding and some time after, that he had hired security, because there was people or women that threatened to come bust up the wedding.
He said just one.
And that was enough.
One is enough.
Okay, so that's okay. Give you, any indication of how it started. Not unlike maybe some of y'all can recognize. Y'all done been through some stuff. Y'all done dealt with adultery. We dealt with it to the 15th power. Do you hear me? I dealt with it. And I'm not even going to lie. There were times when I felt like if I would have been single and I wouldn't have had my 3 kids, I probably would have left a lot sooner. Although I loved him to death. There was a time that I was at my breaking point.
Yeah.
But I still loved him. But because my children had already gone through a divorce, I made more sacrifices. And because he was good to us, although he was out there cutting up to the 15th power.
Yeah.
I knew that I didn't want to bring my kids to that. So fast forward to after we got married, we were actually the first couple that our pastor had married. He asked us to be over the marriage ministry. And we were like, why you chose us? We just got married. He said, I want you guys. So something that he saw in us and trusted in us. I want you guys to be over the marriage ministry.
We always had a light that people saw.
Well, to God be the glory. Okay. And so she laughing. To God be the glory. It ain't us.
Les was saying we always had a light. You say, well, to God be the glory.
God be the glory. I'm saying it's not us. I'm saying it's not us. It's God gives us. I'm thank God for whatever other people have seen. It's not us. It's God.
No more distractions.
So there we are. We say we gonna do our best at this thing. Because again, sometimes we can give a perspective even with new couples, and then we can share with other couples that have been married years and years. Long story short, we did that the best that we could, and we enjoyed it until one time I said, "This is it. I'm tired of playing around in this church. We supposed to be over this marriage ministry, and you out here cutting up. I ain't doing it no more.
I know that's right.
I'm done." Because although we ain't perfect, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. It was time after time, y'all. It was time after time. Till it got to the point to where I would say with about 10 years, it was just crazy. The last time I had an out of body experience, I almost went to jail, and I was at the point to where I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't. But let me fast forward a little bit. There was a time for me when I always had the opportunity to give him back what he was giving me. Because I was always being approached. But the type of woman that I was, I have to be in a different space. If I feel like I'm going fight around with somebody else or give somebody else my attention, then I'm done with you. That's not a good space to be with me. I'm a Sagittarius. When I'm done, I'm done. With the exception of him. With the exception of him. Okay. When I tell y'all I had enough of him dishing. And when I took it, there was a time when I didn't go looking for it. But it found me. And there was, I was more so led, I would say, by someone to talk to. Is how it started. And my mom has always said, not necessarily in my situation, but be careful when you are talking to the opposite sex.
Be careful who you entertain.
When you entertain, talking about different things, talking about what's going on in your marriage and your relationship and things like that. Because when you are confiding in a person like that, a lot of these relationships, situationships, and adultery and stuff starts with that emotion. It's that emotional relationship. And it turns into something that you never even intended. And next thing you know, there y'all go. My mama said, and I'm going to say it just like this. A shoulder to cry on is a dang-a-lang to ride on.
Well.
Gotta be careful. Okay? So.
And shout out to Miss Linda. Baby, that's one right there.
Mama, love you, mama.
What you want?
My mama is off the chain. Okay, love you, mama.
Baby, I ain't never heard that in all the days of my life, but baby, that's a good one right there.
A shoulder crown is
Hello.
So you have to be careful. But anyway, so that particular situation, my guards was down, and it was to the point to where I didn't care no more. And at the end of the day, when we talked about this in counseling, and again, the only reason why I'm bringing this up, because we learned in counseling, once you done got through something and you passed it, ain't no need in you going back and revisiting and keep bringing it up.
Right.
Because when I was still hurt and going through, I would bring it up to him often, because different things would trigger me. It would be a song or something I seen on TV or something make me think about that, and I would go off, and we would be going good.
All the time.
No, it would be any little thing, something like the devil is always working to cause confusion anywhere he can. So even if we were working towards peace and rebuilding, what was torn and broken down, the devil was always working against us in your mind. You got to constantly fight. You got to stay prayed up. You got to constantly be talking to God, So when I let my guard down, at that point, there it was. And my counselors, this used to upset him. But being honest, I wanted him to hurt.
Yeah.
I wanted to hurt him.
Occasions.
I wanted to hurt him
It worked.
the way he hurt me. And when I tell y'all, when he found out, when I'm talking about this shit became taken, when I'm talking about umpteen times, I ain't got enough fingers and toes. Okay? That one time or two, or it can be 20 to him, because in his mind as a man, if it was one, might have been 20.
Yeah.
He could not handle it. Do you hear me? And I wanted to tell him. He was like, when you found out, I was like, oh yeah, what you want to know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
Because I want you to feel what I've been feeling all this time.
Yeah.
And that to me was a really dangerous place.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the person that I really was. It made me be a total different person. I didn't think about, Leslie, you should be carrying yourself in a certain way. This is not what you want to do. And at the end of the day, I was always convicted by that. Always convicted. It's like, this is not right. I know I shouldn't be doing this, and end up breaking it off because of that reason. But by then, he had been found out, it's like, whatever, But we went through, at that point, he was ready to split like a banana. Now, I like I said, I didn't do it
regardless of everything you had done.
Yeah, regardless of all the things, I dealt with it. I took it. It was, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm this. He wasn't mature, and he also was selfish, and he admitted that. Again, we're past that. We're healed. We're healed from that. But his selfishness is what caused all of that. But when I did it to him that time, it was like he simply could not take it. I might as well have been doing it to him all those years. Yeah. Because he felt so hurt. And it made me so mad. Yeah. Because I was like, how dare you be mad at me for doing to you what you did to me all these years? How dare you?
Yeah.
So after, I would say, that was extremely hard because he could never get it out of his mind.
But how
he never could get it out of his mind.
Did y'all eventually get past it?
Oh yeah,
because that's not a vision that no man worked. We didn't see the best man, so that vision is in his head.
Oh, let me tell you what happened. So from there, we call ourselves okay. After he calmed himself down and whatever, okay, we gonna work through it. But in his mind, you know what he did? I'm gonna turn it up.
Okay.
Because if she mess with this one, I know she's still out there doing whatever. So he turned it up. He turned into, like, when I tell y'all, like a beast. When I tell y'all devil was riding him hard, everybody has something that the devil knows is your weakness. It could be gambling. It could be stealing, lying. It could be everybody knows. When I tell you the devil was riding him, he wanted to destroy him through that. And he was very well on his way to destroy his family, the children, our other family members and everything by this. It was just so horrible, but he didn't see it at the time. So after that, he turned it up. And the straw that broke the camel's back for me that last time when I found out took me, I had an out of body experience, almost went to jail. That was it. And I said, I can't do this anymore. And then I filed for divorce.
Yeah.
But before it was final or we separated, and we had always said in our marriage that we never had spent a night apart, even how mad we were. We go in another room, but we're never separating. And this, in his mind, I think he always thought maybe it was because of what he was doing, that if we spent a night apart, that I was going to go be with somebody. Even though that just wasn't even my character up until that point.
It was because he was doing it.
It was because he was doing it.
Yeah.
It was definitely because he was doing it.
Too, in our relationship, I have never been, and it's just, it's not a reason. It just is. I've never been rejected as much as I've been by Leslie.
I rejected him in high school, and he
Always
still
rejected me more than anybody in my life ever rejected me.
Yeah.
You know, even when we were married, she rejected.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes when you have your level of maturity, you're like, well, she rejected me. What the hell wrong with me? You know, and she's always constantly rejecting me. And I'm like,
Yeah. So he had to prove his
And I
value
was.
through other.
and I was, and didn't even realize what I was doing or what was going on.
Then when I found out she was doing this other stuff, I'm like, well, okay, well, she got all these cats going on. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All these cats.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, okay, I see what's up now. Yeah. And then in the way that the situation ended up, is like, okay, well, this was orchestrated.
And it wasn't.
You know, that's just the way I'm dialing it in. Because you know how
like that.
You take it from one extreme.
Right. Because you know how we do. Because you know how we do. We take it to like 10. You know what I'm saying?
But can y'all understand that? Like that, this when he found that out, it was orchestrated all these years.
But still, it's just the way that
This was intentional what you was doing.
He was hurt.
But like I told you, Walt, and I said before.
Okay, but he was hurt. But he hurt her multiple times.
But let me tell you. And
Okay, I'm listening.
Then she can't take it. Then she can't take it.
Saying, I really, when you look back in history, like I told Leslie, I did this earlier today because we talked about what was going on, and I took the time and day to look. I look back through biblical history. I look back through history just because I'm a history dude. And you can't find one instance where men who had multiple wives or multiple relationships or whatever, and then a woman that does it, that is looked at the same. Yeah, it's never been. Yeah. It's never been. Yeah. So I'm really my deduction. This is my deduction. This is a reasonable deduction through information that I've received. That I don't think we're designed to. I don't think men are designed to look at it the same way. By the way we're created, I don't think we're designed to look at it like that. I think we respond the way we are designed to respond at an animalistic nature. Because this is how we are. When you mess with something that, because men are hunters. And when we find what's ours, it's ours. We protect wives to the death. When we say I do for us mean we step in the front of you, take a bullet for you.
Okay. But also that's a double-edged sword because you said, and I know that you might provide protections for me, you know, but you didn't protect me.
No,
you weren't protecting my heart. You were, and he admitted,
and he
was taking advantage of because he felt like I was always going to be there, or he would go and always buy whatever you want.
Well, right, but I'm still
this and that.
It still does not mean that we're designed to absorb that what you guys dish out to us to hurt us.
It doesn't matter if you're designed or not. It's not right.
But I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it just is. It's what's right or wrong is a moral thing. If something's by design, it just is what it is.
The Bible says, "Do unto others."
As you would
have them do unto you.
But
Period.
also read the Bible.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You ain't finna have no multiple wives.
No, I'm just saying.
Listen, babe,
look at the design.
I know, but that's not okay. You can't go back to that and say, John, Jacob, all this, whatever, Billy Bob and whatever, had 15 wives and they did that, and it's accepted in society because as a mature man and a man of God, you can say, hey, if I did it one time, 15 times, or you did it, it's wrong in the eyes of God. Right. Sin is sin.
It is. I'm just saying,
adultery is adultery.
I don't think that men are designed to absorb it the way they.
Okay, so you're saying, what are you saying? How are women designed to absorb it? We designed to absorb it, is what you're saying?
It's always happened.
No,
okay.
I think
it hasn't always happened.
I think men are selfish.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're selfish and we're immature. That's why I always say that girls mature quicker than
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, out of our selfishness and immaturity, we become dangerous.
Right.
We become dangerous in doing so.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is that when you look throughout history and you look at men, even if you look at biblical, all those men biblically were selfish.
Right.
And so the thing is, number one, we have to understand or see our selfishness.
Exactly.
Then once we do that, then we have to work on it.
But you have to see that first.
Yes. Now, and that's the dangerous part when some men don't see it. Because some men never see it.
Mm-hmm. And some relationships don't last through that. Yeah. Some of them can last it was the grace of God that I was lasted. It got to that point. Yeah. And then I listened to God when we were going to separate and whatever. And God just kept he just, don't do it. Just, don't do it. Fight for your marriage. Don't do it. I mean, trust in me. And this is how I got through all those times when I was so hurt. Leaning on God. And saying, God, please fix this. And what I should have been more focused on is God fix me. So I'm be worrying about what he's doing.
Yes.
Because you know what?
That's what I should have been focused on. Fix me so I won't be worrying about what he's doing.
That's the key.
But let me tell you, that's what got me to that point, because I'm at this point now. So it don't matter. Now we passed that. We don't have those type of issues no more. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what I had learned to do was to lean on God and know in my heart of hearts that no matter what Mr. Jackson did, God was going to always take care of me, and he always has. I had to lean on him all the time and be like, at the end of the day, God, I know you got me no matter what, because the Bible says man is going to let you down. That's what I focused on, and I stopped focusing so much on him and said, God, work on me. And in order for us to come back together like we did and decide to stay married, let me tell y'all what he had to do. He had to admit his selfishness, which he did. He had to admit that he was wrong and that he did not want to live that way anymore. Not for me, for him. He was tired of living that way. Yeah. Because it wasn't enough to say, because of lack of maturity or selfishness, I'm not going to do this anymore for my wife. That wasn't enough. He had to be tired of doing it and be convicted and not want to live that life anymore.
Like, Walt, let me ask you something, Walt. How many guys you know that are married, that run the streets and don't care if their wives know or not?
Right.
Let me tell you something.
That was never the situation here.
But you see,
at my previous job, I listened to those.
They don't care.
I'm like,
but you see that, and you know what that shows? Crazy. Because when you care,
why get married?
When you know what I'm saying is, a man that cares what his wife knows or not knows, he respects her, and he cares what she thinks. He hides from her because he don't want to hurt her. He don't want her to know. He knows he's immature. Yeah. He's not ready to come to face with his immaturity yet. but he don't want to hurt her. He don't want her to find out because that's what he wants. Mm-hmm. He don't want the other BS because men can deal with a woman and not even know her last name. She don't mean nothing to him. Mm-hmm. Watch where he puts his possessions at. His possessions is where he wants to be. Mm-hmm. His time, because you have women who will fit in cracks and crevices to get to where they want to be and think that they're going to be where the woman is one day, but they'll never be there. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem today because you have men that have such a lack of maturity and women who feed into it. Mm-hmm. And until you get to changing for what's real and understand the value of what you have. And it takes some time for us because we are taught so much negativity at a young age as men. But we're taught that you should have more than one girlfriend. You're taught that you should be doing this, you should be doing this. You're taught you should be doing this. Mm-mm. So you're taught that. Those are learned things.
You were taught
might
that.
see.
Hold on. You were taught that.
Well,
because I'm gonna tell you something. Because my mother-in-law, Walt, in the first episode of this part, Walt talked about his dad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was there to witness what his dad put his mama through.
Right.
And one thing that my mother-in-law told me was she raised Walter because she was a single parent, but she raised Walter to be the type of man that she would want to marry, that she wanted. So I never had those problems with him. So even when our little situation came up or whatever, where he used his work phone to call the ex about his cousin's death, even when he did that was out of the ordinary for him.
That's
he didn't hide like that. It was always he needed to make sure I knew where he was every single second of the day.
Because statistics
he gave me that security.
Yeah, and that was good. And he did that out of the trauma that he was dealt and seeing his dad. He didn't want to be that. And that's funny because
he didn't want to be that.
He always said he didn't want to be that either.
But the statistics show that most single mothers raise their sons to be men they wouldn't even date. Mm-hmm. That's statistics. Mm-hmm. That's why you have 80% of young men who are in jail come from single mothers' homes. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Because they raise men to be men that they wouldn't even want to date.
But again, my mother-in-law didn't do that. This is rare. That's rare. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I can admit that. But there's a lot of men that it's a choice. At the end of the day, it's a choice. And it's for me, Walt always knew for me that was a deal breaker.
That was a deal breaker.
That's the only deal breaker I ever had.
Yeah.
For real. Mm-hmm. And I meant it. I stood on that. Now, Walt is the first man, I have to be honest. He's the first man that I never cheated on.
Player.
I'm being real.
Okay.
When we met,
that says something there.
We were in. I really wasn't in a relationship. I was in a situationship.
Okay.
When we met,
like what's her name?
Yeah. Like Jada Pinkett.
Lord,
and so the thing was, there was a time that came up. Walt came to the house. Homeboy was in town. And my mama told Walt, hey, so and so is in town. I know you've been spending a lot of time with Val, but why don't y'all back up a minute and let her see him? My mom, because she felt like we were moving too fast.
Wow.
She said, why don't you kind of back up a little bit and let Val just talk to him? You know what Walter said? Tell me what you said, love.
It was like the song say, I got a man. What your man got to do with me?
He say, what does that have to do with me?
Okay.
He said, Val, what you want to do? Well, you the one I've been spending my time with, but I had to talk to the other young man and say, hey, what we had, that's over with. And turns out this dude was looking to propose.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was hot-headed.
I had that happen too.
I'm just saying, and then, because Walt, okay, we got married. But I'm Val. Y'all gotta understand. I'm Val. We married. My ex-fiance shows up to the house just unannounced. I'm at my parents' house and I'm big and pregnant. And my daddy messy as hell. And the guy come to the door and he say, "Is Valerie home?" And so my daddy said, "Well, what you doing here?" And his last name was LaFleur. "What you doing here, LaFleur?"
Oh.
And so, and well, we ain't gonna discuss it on the podcast, but I'm giving y'all enough. Yeah,
I know.
Washington Boulevard. And so he said, "What you doing here?" He said, I just want to talk to Val." Now, mind you, I was engaged to him. Yeah. He was in the military. He was stationed in Germany, and he married someone else.
Oh,
and didn't tell me.
Oh wow.
Okay.
What for then?
Huh?
Where'd he come from?
So went to see Val. So my daddy said, "Yeah, sure, come on in." You can see messy as hell. He said, "Come on," and I'm pregnant with Aspen, married. Guy standing there. I come out the room. His eyes that big. He said he wanted to talk to you. So what we talking about? What we talking about? He said, "I just want to see her and just kind of explain some things." He had gone through a divorce, so he looking to try to come explain himself. Yeah. And I can give zero.
Yeah, zero.
Yes, I can. And I say, well, yeah, I'm married to Walton. I think I introduced you, huh? Or you wasn't home? Oh, you wasn't there that day. Well, it was another one that came by. It was. My mama.
Shit.
Yeah, I had a lot of boyfriends. I did. I wasn't a girl that was out there putting out or anything like that. Because when guys wanted that, I would go. You know, but you know, I had a lot of guys that were interested, and I was engaged twice before Walt and I got married. But Walt wasn't playing around with me. He was not playing. And I guess after he saw everything else that was going on, because he got to see certain things with me. He was like, let me go ahead and marry this girl.
Yeah.
You know, but he did tell me, he say, one thing that you'll never have to worry about is infidelity. And I told him, I said, because that's a deal breaker for me. Because my thing is, why get married if you're going to play around?
Yeah.
You know, because when it's time to get married, you should know. And see, with y'all had other things that was going on. It was mentioned in the other podcast.
Right.
You know, and I'm glad y'all made it to this side. And I love that y'all sharing y'all story. I appreciate that. You know, because in order for y'all to talk about it so openly means that you're healed from
we heal from it. I wouldn't be able to talk about it, but it's still, I was telling Val when I think about it, what makes me emotional about it is just, God's grace, because his hand was always in our marriage, even when we didn't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful that we were both willing and able to let all of our guards down, surrender to God, so that we could do what we needed to do to fully commit to this marriage. And so then we went through the multiple counselors. We went through all of my trauma. And when I tell y'all, he put up with me going through for years. He put up with it. I don't care what it was. He took it. He took it like a man. He said, because, basically, I'm the reason why she's like this. But I will do whatever it takes to get her on the other side, to show her that she can trust me, that I'm going to always be here for her, and so that we can have the love that we had before. And I prayed for that, and I'm thankful. I'm emotional because God gave us exactly what I prayed for, and he restored it way more than I could have ever imagined. Like, those people that know us, what you see is real. I have never been, it's like we are more in love now. We have a better appreciation for each other because of the things that we have gone through. And
one thing I want to touch on too, it was the choice that you guys made. Because at the end of the day, it was a choice, and y'all chose each other, and y'all chose to work it out. And it was not easy. You know, it was very challenging. I know, hadn't experienced it, but I know marriage is hard.
It's very hard.
You know, but marriage is hard, but y'all, it is so rewarding. And when
Yes.
you have the right partner,
Yeah.
see, y'all had the right partner.
All right, partner.
Y'all was right for each other.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that my mother-in-law loves to say about me. And wow, God fashioned y'all,
Yes, for each other.
And so now when we see y'all, it's like my mother-in-law said about me, and wow, it's like y'all mesh together.
Exactly.
We don't fit one without the other.
Right.
All of that. Y'all just fit.
You fit and you complement each other in so many ways.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Just like now, with us, it took going through things.
Right. It does. It does take that.
I would shut her out, all that. And, at the point, I say, I'm tired.
You do. You be like, man, you know what?
I thought it was tired today, y'all.
Wait.
Leslie had texted me earlier. I said, girl.
Yeah.
Tanya text, I said, girl. I said, your brother. She said, maybe he tired. Listen, let me tell you something. Woo, because I don't even know what he told me, but I just walked off. I said, I don't even have time for it today.
Oh, you did a him? You did a him?
I walked off.
Sometimes
I walked
you
off.
like, I ain't got the energy today.
I say she mad. Well, before it would have been, but that comes from maturity. Before it would have been like, what you upset right now?
Yeah, no, this would have been canceled. All this would have been canceled. We ain't shooting nothing. We ain't doing nothing.
We understand.
When you grow up, when you mature, when you go through things,
Right.
when you realize who your true identity,
Right.
and when you realize, you know what, I'm full of shit.
Uh-oh.
You gotta say, I'm on that, because I was like, I'm on that bullshit. That's what I'm on.
Yeah.
Because you can be real with yourself.
You say to yourself, man, I'm on this, man, let me go give. Then you got to make the step. Let me go give me some help.
Yeah.
And one thing about
Why do y'all think it's so hard for men, especially black men, to go and get help?
we don't believe nothing wrong with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. And pride and ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't like anybody in our business.
How you gonna tell me about me? I know me better
Yeah.
than I know me.
You won't like nobody in our business.
Yeah.
But how would
I mean,
you,
this is a private. It's a black thing. We're
how would
people
you
are private.
how would you encourage a man that needs
This is what
therapy
you got
to get therapy
This is what you have to do.
as your homeboy?
I'm gonna tell you what you have to do, and this is what I firmly believe. Men need a circle, but you need some real cats.
You need some
Tell you
real
how it
cats.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
while we and like I firmly believe this, and I know Val don't believe me, but I believe men live in a different world than women live in.
Oh no, I believe that.
So we talk to each other differently, and we call bullshit on each other fast. Motherfucker, you ain't shit. You fucking up.
Yeah.
And we talk to each other like that.
Yeah.
And so we'll hold each other accountable at a level that everybody else ain't. Well, you don't need therapy. Motherfucker, you get with you some good dudes who your partners. And you sit down and talk to them. And if they the right kind of cats, you ain't gonna go fucked up. They're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking up.
Yeah.
Especially if they know you, and then if you married to somebody or you dating somebody and they know them, they're gonna tell you quick. Yo, you okay? What you doing?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing out there. Ain't nothing out there that you want. The same thing that you think you missing gonna be out there 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to my barber today. And he runs a very professional business. They're doing really good. And he say, listen, he needs a young guy. He's almost 40. But watching him change from when I first met him to where he is now has been freaking great. Because he was not a real spiritual dude. Now he talks about how important God is to him, church, and listening to him, he said, man, he gets on social media, he said, man, what's on social media? Nothing but people shaking their behinds and all this other stuff. He said, my wife is fine. I don't need to look at all that. What I need that for?
Right.
Like, I don't need all that. He said, and so I'm looking at him mature.
You've seen him mature over the years, but it was but you don't even realize though that the things that you may have been saying or he have been watching you are pouring into him, sharing your testimony and seeing what you don't even have to get into depth, but you mentor him when you see,
because you don't
we
know
pass
who
it
you're
on.
affecting. You really don't.
Yes.
And people come up and tell you, y'all inspired us or y'all encouraged us, and we have no idea.
No idea,
So the thing is just to keep doing what we doing.
But our therapist, our last therapist, Reverend Sarton, told us, Reverend Sarton, he told us, y'all need to do this. He said, because y'all can do this. And he said, you guys can tell people. You guys can tell people because he said, look how bad you thought your story was till you heard mine.
Yeah. and one of the main comments that I get, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, this is good. Oh, this is helping me. Oh, this blessed me. I can't wait. When the next one, because we had said we was gonna do dishes, but can't take it. When that one coming out? But the thing is it's the effective communication.
It's effective communication.
And we go back to the choices that we make. We made the choice to love, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. Love ain't just eros, meaning a sexual type of love.
No.
Because there were days where it had to be agape love, the love that covers the whole thing.
Right.
Because there was days I did not like Walt. Walt didn't like me, couldn't stand me.
Right.
You can say that,
right.
You can say that. You can say, I don't like you right now. I love you. I don't like you.
I don't like you. And then also, we had to accept that marriage requires more than love.
Yes, it does. Sacrifice.
Just love ain't gonna make this marriage
humility.
work.
Yes. Vulnerability.
Yes. A man wants respect. That's the number one thing a man wants. But understand that woman have to have respect as well. You have to respect your wife and the position that she holds in your life. Your wife is your number one.
Right.
That means she come before everybody except for God.
For God.
So and I know y'all like to say that God made Eve for Adam, but I will say this, and may I add, he did. But guess what?
I'm just making sure.
But guess what? He made Adam in need of Eve. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because I've been hearing that.
That's a good one.
I had to go look
That's deep.
Go look it up, huh?
That's deep. That's deep.
I said because this is true. But also he couldn't function without her.
Well, no. Now you know.
So at the same result, just like that, he made Adam in need of Eve. So we got to remember that. And so as y'all helpmates.
That's right.
Right.
Needed
that.
Yeah, because I remember when we were in therapy, Walter told our therapist that I need my wife.
Yeah, we do.
But on his own, Walt ain't never said, "Well, Val, I need you."
Right.
He never. I don't mean it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't until we got into therapy
yes.
that he said that. He said,
"Open up.
I need my marriage."
Yes.
Because you know this. See, that's why I would tell her. You watch the woman that the man clings to. Just watch. You can pick her out of a room of women that he might be talking to, but you know who his woman is. It's because of how he is with her. He caters to her. These other ones don't mean a damn thing.
Say that.
Don't mean nothing.
Say that.
Because men can meet women all day long and they don't mean nothing to him. But the one that he caters to, the one that got access to everything, that's the one you gonna see him with.
Yeah, but don't jeopardize that fella.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. How we flow.
Let me tell you something.
That's how men flow.
You have a beautiful wife.
Yes,
and she appreciates you, and she has done something a lot of women wouldn't do.
Oh yeah,
and so that appreciation for you, your marriage, your family, and her love to just be like an umbrella for you guys. Because really God is the umbrella.
Yeah.
So it's the God in her. And that what I'm trying to say is that is rare because I know me, and I can only speak from my point of view. I wouldn't have been able to do it. And the thing is, even with her lick back, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Well, see,
she is cut from a different cloth.
At the point that was going on, I had accepted that. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Done. It's a wrap.
But I have to say that both of you are cut from a different
They both are.
because Jack, the things that you said, okay, I'm full of this bullshit. That 99
Brothers wouldn't have did
no,
it.
they wouldn't have done that.
They wouldn't have said
Let it just cut their losses and gone. It's easier for them to just start over and go ahead.
And just running around here hurt though.
But the thing,
Right.
Because Leslie was the one you wanted.
and the thing is, you did the work.
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely did the work. He did the
You
work.
know, and you didn't do the work strictly for Leslie, like you said, but you did it because you wanted to.
Right.
You know, until if you do it for somebody else, it's only gonna last for a second.
A second,
Because that's an emotional thing.
Right.
Once she say something to pitch, you gotta be like, "Hey, man, let me go back and do it out there." But when you look at me and you say, "You know what, you full of that bullshit."
Yeah, but you have to love yourself enough for that.
Yeah.
At some point you gotta love yourself. Because I had to learn how to love Valerie at one point more than I love Walt. In order for me to get off the back burner, I had to love myself more than Walt loved me. And I didn't realize I didn't love myself like that. You understand?
Really?
Really. I didn't put myself first or none of that. I just had, when he met me, I was that chick, I was that girl. But as we went down in our marriage, I started placing the kids first.
Right,
first.
yeah.
And so the more people that came in me, I would place them over myself.
Right,
And I became a people pleaser.
Me too.
To my own expense, But once I got back in the groove of loving myself, it made it easier to love Walter.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And then also once Walt got into the groove of loving himself and not dealing with the self-esteem, because it didn't matter what I could tell Walt, he was fine to Jesus came back. It wasn't until he started loving himself and seeing himself valuable and seeing what I saw in him that I built this monster. I did.
Wow.
I built.
But you know what? If you build him, it can't nothing tear him down. Though.
Can't nothing tear him down.
But when you look at it, though, like I always say, in the marriage, it's you as an individual, and then it's you together.
Yes.
Right.
That's things that you can accomplish individually. That you have to keep your own individual identity.
That's right. You got
Yeah.
And then there's things that only can be accomplished together.
Yeah.
That's it. And so the things, even financial, all the things that you have is because you're together.
Right.
Right. And got some cats talking about, I can do it by myself. Leave that woman. Let me see how far you get.
Well, and that's what happens. Because because women have the ability to speak life and speak motivation into you.
Yeah.
They can always tear you down too.
Yeah.
The woman has the tongue that can just. What's the saying? If a woman can't control her tongue, it's like a man that can't control his hands. That's a very bad mixture. But because a woman's tongue can tear you down and just berate you in such a way that makes you feel less than anything.
But a man's tongue can do the same thing.
Most men can't do that. Most men get down. Because if you get with
Jack.
I'm saying if you get with real men, it's gonna be some hands thrown after a while.
And I'm gonna tell you, guys who tear down women like that
are not men.
Low self-esteem.
And number two, they base their identity off of
women because we don't have the time.
You remember?
Most men ain't got the time for that.
I told y'all, I was more physical. He was more verbal. Walter has never called me out of my name. But he has said some things that make me think twice.
Okay.
And he didn't came back I apologize. What you apologizing for? Because if you can't tell me what you're apologizing for, then your apology is insincere. Girl, ain't me apologizing good enough?
No, because don't nothing make me madder than feeling like your apology ain't sincere. You feel like you're apologizing out of necessity.
Yeah, I apologize.
No,
But what you
apologize.
apologizing
It needs to have sincerity behind it and mean it. And this is the thing. I don't know, why some things take the patterns take a while, human sometimes, and you have to realize this helped us through counseling.
Yeah.
That sometimes just because you say, "Hey, we gonna go on a straight and narrow," don't mean
It's gonna
I
happen
won't say
overnight.
it's not going to happen overnight. You have to be willing to go through the process because you're both working in process towards a common goal.
What does it take to change the essence of a man? Time. That's just a fact.
And that is the truth. It is just like, oh my God,
That's a
time
fact.
is just,
That's a fact.
oh my God. It's just not the same person.
But the man
Just-
the man gotta want to change.
He has to want to change.
That's the key right there. I can't just sit back and say, well, time. No, that man
Has to want to change.
Right. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to fall. It just means that it takes me time. Because you have so many things that are learned habits and conditions that even if you want to change, don't mean that they're going to creep back up. It just means that
Let's understand this thing. Let's understand this. Okay. We got some hard, healthy boundaries over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard, healthy
And
boundaries
you got to be real
mean
about your boundaries.
certain things, if ever happen again, is a done deal because I can only take so much. And at this point, ain't no excuse.
Ain't none.
Okay. And even on my part as well, we have healthy, strong boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going back there and we're not crossing them. And if you even get close to it, I'm calling you out and we're going to have a conversation. And same here. We ain't sweeping it under the rug like we talked about because that just snowballs into bigger problems. We're going to discuss this thing and we got to stay up all night.
No. In one of the episodes, I had told y'all about being angry and going to bed. I used to be the one that wanted to discuss it all night.
long.
But when you tired,
Yes.
it can get reckless.
You ain't listening. She said, "How do you?"
Yes. You ain't listening to me, Walter?
Oh yeah, I'm listening.
How you over there sleeping? I'm talking. You ain't listening.
What I just said?
I
Huh?
don't even know.
And that just make you
You
mad.
got- you win, I'm good.
He
You
be
win,
talking about
whatever,
I'm
you right, you
listening,
right, you
and then
right.
I hear.
Oh,
I say, Walter.
that making you so
You're
mad.
like, you know what? You show like.
Oh, no,
Back
don't
in
do
the day,
this, though.
Back in the day,
No.
I felt some cold water one day.
Oh, yeah, okay. Better be glad it wasn't no hot water.
You know what you
It was
do?
cold.
No hot
You know what you
grits.
do?
And Walter already know my grandmother had then told him. Tell him what my grandma said.
We was in Port Arthur.
This was his first time ever meet my great grandmother.
100 years old. She dipped snuff,
Oh, wow.
and she was out there with that Folgers can on the front porch.
Oh, my God.
Say,
Spitting in it.
Just sitting there straight. Say, let me tell you something. A man tried to hit me one time, and this what you do: you go pee in the can. You put some cayenne pepper on it, in it. And you say, you wait till it's a hot day. And when you come out there, you pour it on him. And every time he starts sweating, his ass gonna start burning. She's looking at me.
And she was looking dead at Walter. In other words, don't put your hands on my girl.
Oh, I can tell you, that sound like my mama.
Okay.
I don't know how she said her mom taught her how to concoct something with cayenne pepper and all of that.
Yeah.
And get into an argument. But she gonna hold on to it because she gonna get you back.
Yeah.
If you didn't got into an argument or she didn't make, so she gonna wait till
That's my goal to
it's
see.
time to have relations. And get to rubbing in some parts with that cayenne pepper and stuff. Yes.
Come on
I would never do nothing like that. I would never do nothing like that to him ever. But I'm gonna tell you what I have thought. Let me tell you.
Some stuff.
My mama was something else.
They did some stuff.
My mama was something else, baby. Let me tell you. But I said I would never do nothing like that to him. But I have had some of these thoughts. Let me tell you. He is not scared of nothing in the world. Nothing. Nothing. I feel safe with him all the time. But you let a cockroach, them big ones, you got big trees, you let a cockroach come, he gonna make a dough where there ain't no dough. Don't forget about me. So I had said, when that stuff was going on, I was having some very dark thoughts. And what I thought about was getting a whole bunch of them big cockroaches and putting them in his truck when he went to go to work. And he probably was going to have a heart attack. That's what I was thinking about because he's so deathly afraid. He was traumatized as a child. If there is a big cockroach, I can forget it because he's not going to hear. He is gone. So that is what I thought about. Oh, yes. If he ever mess with me, them cockroaches. You going to sit up here and say you're not scared of cockroaches?
I said I ain't scared. I said I wouldn't leave you.
He done left me before.
But let me tell y'all. Now I'm telling you my grandmother. Me and Les got to. I forgot what argument it was. What was a big argument? And I had to go to my grandmother's house. And my grandmother asked me when I walked in the house. My grandmother was one of the people that when you walk in the house, she knows something. She knows something ain't right.
Yeah.
She said, "What's wrong? What happened?"
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, "Say, did you put your hands on her?" And I said, "No, ma'am." She looked at me. She said, "Did you put your hands on her?"
No, never.
She said, "Okay." Sit down. You be all right.
Yeah.
You can get that smoke.
What?
Yeah. Baby, they did not play around. They didn't play around like
But
that.
you look at it and, we talking about, we didn't say we wasn't going to use constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Concern. And the whole point of this, part 2 is to make sure that you understand the person that you're with.
Right? Yeah.
Understand where they came from. Yep. Understand why they go to. Maybe they may not tell you point for point what they went through, right? But listen to their stories.
Listen to
their stories. Because they're gonna tell a story. I always say, let a person talk long enough, and they'll tell you who they are.
They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you.
But if you're not listening, they're telling you. And especially a man, if he's going through some things, he's not, because of his pride, he's not going to come out and say, this is what it is. But he's going to tell us.
We generalize. We generalize. We're going
to say you, oh, I see so-and-so going through that. I remember da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And so just connect those. If you're in a situation like that and you're trying to understand your man, connect that. And then start making your conversations and your movements around those things that you have listened and learned.
And really, when it comes to us, to me,
that's good.
Just to let people know, if a man ever opens up to talk to you about something, do not use what he says against him again, because he will never tell you nothing else again. He will never let you in again, because we are people who like to be respected. And if I open up to you, and then you gonna take what I say and use it against me, you don't get that part of me no more. That's just the way men work.
Lester, I think that's the way you work.
No, that's the way. No,
because that vulnerability.
Because we don't
opening it up.
We're opening up to you, and then you use something against us that we're giving you. It's like, well,
I'm trying to see, have I done that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just how men work. First you have to allow us to be vulnerable.
I hear what you're saying.
You have to allow us to be vulnerable and be safe, and then when we do that, then you turn it against us and use it on us.
So How you say that? I did that? Who did that?
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
What I'm
taking up on the
hold on. Sure, boo. Hold on. What I'm saying, because that's something that I cannot stand. If I've told you something, and you turn it around when we having a little disagreement, and you use it against me,
no.
See, what you telling me about men is you'll never get that part of me again.
Right.
But when a man do it to a woman, notice I say, have I ever did that to you? He say, no. Now, let's put the foot on the on the other foot.
You didn't did that to him, Val, because
Okay,
no.
But he did it to me.
I probably did.
He did it to me because what happened is, why we get so upset Now I'm just trying to hurt you.
Yeah, because they don't fight. They don't know how to fight us. They can't fight like
fair.
us.
They don't
fight fair.
Yeah, they don't fight fair.
Yeah.
We don't fight like you because what happens is when you guys attack us, you hurt us intentionally. We never hurt you intentionally.
No, I never heard it. I never
You don't think
intended.
you do. But to us, it feels intentful.
Okay, yeah.
So we're reacting now because normally, like when me and Leslie into, I never say nothing to hurt her intent with any intent. Never. Until she says something to me.
But you know the thing
Then
that
it
I learned?
comes, then she get it.
Yeah, but the thing that I learned is, because I always tell my people, even though I'm not religious, don't throw that Bible away because it's a book of wisdom.
Right.
It says a soft answer turns away wrath.
wrath.
So instead of criticizing your man, let him know your concerns. I am concerned about such and such. I'm telling y'all, look, I'm telling y'all, once you let them know that's your concern, because it's all in your approach.
Everything.
And everything that Walt and everything that Walt just said, basically he's telling you to move strategically in your marriage.
Right.
You know,
raindrops.
I want to say it's like the art of war.
Yeah.
But
Read that book by Shirley Sue.
yes,
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's life.
You know what I mean?
It's life.
It is life. And so even in your marriage, y'all on the same team.
Yes.
Y'all part of the same army.
Think like that first.
You know what I'm saying?
Teammates. We're
Yes.
teammates.
Yes.
If you get
know.
that in your head, we're teammates.
Yes.
And she has a concern or he has a concern. It is not tearing you down. It's a concern about the cohesiveness.
Yeah, okay, well, let's bring it to baseball because I used to play softball, and I was a pitcher. Let's just say we on the same team. I'm the pitcher and Walt the catcher. Okay, and if I'm throwing something to him
He can't catch it.
and he can't catch it, then we didn't have a discussion. But if I'm throwing something at him and we've already discussed it, we already know what the game plan
What the
is.
game plan is.
Because we got to have the game plan.
Yes.
If we know what the game plan is, guess what? Every time I throw it to him, he gonna do what?
Yeah.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? He gonna catch it every single time.
You know what's coming.
You know?
And the cool thing about that analogy is that the catcher always sends signals to the pitcher.
Hello?
Pitcher
I was just getting ready to say.
shakes them off, shakes them off. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that know the signs.
Know the
Know the
signs.
signs. Know the signs and know when the pitch is calling off that pitch.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And then when you recognize the signs, we have to take ourselves out of self. And what I have had to do, because I'm going to tell you, especially if you've had past, because like I said, the devil is always there to put that negativity. I have learned that my gut feeling is not just a thought in my head. That's God speaking to me. So I listen to that gut, and a lot of times that God
sometimes we
said,
call it intuition.
intuition. My gut will say,
Because we have something the man don't have.
it will say, let your guard down. You can be soft. You can return that response with soft and kind words, because you know what? Because you trusting in me.
Exactly.
And when you trusting in me and doing what I say do, I'm going to make all things right, because you are obeying me. And so when we sacrifice ourselves like that, deny our own selves like that to listen to God, it has worked so much for me. And God ain't through with me yet. Still a work in progress, even after being married all these years. Because we ain't perfect, but we just strive every day to be better. And if you've learned how to talk to each other, how to communicate, it's not going to be peachy creamy every day. But you learn how to listen. You listen to God, and that vulnerability comes in. Because God is saying, hey, let your guard down. I got it. You might feel like he's being mean, or he's saying something, whatever is constructive criticism, or, he might be saying something rub you the wrong way. But just take that softer side to it.
Yeah.
And that's listening to God. And it makes a difference every time I do that, because I'm going to tell you, I always have that choice.
You do.
Whether I'm going to turn it up
Always a choice.
or I am going to say, God, I'm going to humble myself down. Even though in this, I might really want to turn it up and tell him some things about himself. But I'm going to listen to you, God.
Yeah.
Because what I'm fighting for at the end of the day is our peace.
That's it.
I'm fighting for the peace.
But you know what? What God showed us that is that we create that. We create that. Y'all remember that song, Set the Atmosphere?
Yep.
We set the atmosphere in our homes,
homes.
and in our marriage.
Yes.
You know, and it's so much that we just take for granted, or we took for granted in our early years.
Yes.
You know, we took for granted in our early years. Now we don't take that type of stuff
we don't.
for granted. We careful about who we allow in our homes. We're careful about who we allow in our
space.
In our space, because you can be affected by other folks having whatever they have going on, and you have no idea these folks have this stuff going on.
To carry a blessed oil around all the time.
You ain't lying, Leslie. You are not lying.
That's the
You
truth.
know, and the thing with me and Walton, I'm sure with you and Jack, you know, people see y'all and they just want to gravitate towards y'all. You know, and I'm like, because something ain't right.
To God be the glory.
And let me tell you that spirit of discernment is strong on Valerie Winn, honey. I don't play around with that.
I vibe with
Oh, me too.
When God showed me something,
Yeah, it used to not be that way. I used to just, everybody is, just be optimistic with everybody. See the good in everybody before you see the bad. But now I listen to that because let me tell you, them auras ain't right in their lines.
Yes. Yeah.
I done been through too much. We've been through too much. Life is too short. I'm not sacrificing my peace, my zen
I know
for
that's right.
nobody. I don't care who you are.
Because we've worked hard to get to where we are.
Yes.
You know, we've done the shadow work. Now, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? We didn't been on that road to self-discovery.
Yep.
You know, and I think all of us have to go through that if we want to become better people.
Yes.
And especially to become better people for ourselves. And when we do that, we become better people for our mates, for our spouses.
Our mates. Yeah.
You know, so
our children, our family, and all relationships.
Everybody benefit from. So you got to look at yourself first. You got to hold your that mirror up to yourself first. You know,
Yourself.
so okay.
I think this is a great.
This is awesome,
and we got on spirituality, the spiritual side of it, and that's what we're talking about next. We're talking about mental, because we talked about therapy a lot. Okay. And we're going to talk about spiritual wellness, because on our journeys, we wouldn't have gotten here without God.
No way.
And I'm going to say without the creator,
Without,
you know,
Yeah.
so, we wouldn't have gotten here. So
we're so thankful, so grateful.
with that said, we appreciate y'all taking the time out again. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Let us know your thoughts. Send us some DMs.
Yes,
Because
comments.
y'all good about the DMs. Send us some, ask the questions, But we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all support. And I'm glad y'all enjoying this.
Yes. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, until next time, like I say, this podcast, we're going to drop it the same week as part 1. So I'm going to tie them together and y'all will have them back to back.
Yeah. And y'all out there going through something, don't give up.
Don't give up.
We can make it through. So can you.
That's
the help
right.
of God.
All right. Ashe.
Okay.
How they do with their nails. All right. Until next time. my nails ain't long enough to do it.
Wait.
I'm gonna snap like that.
All right, y'all.
Oh my goodness. Bye.
Bye.